On the 11th of January 2024, Betty Irabo, the woman you're seeing on this, pictures and all the screenshots, made a post and said that whenever you go to a shopping mall to buy anything, ensure that you go through the pricing, find out how much that thing is sold so that nobody shortchanges you. When she said this, it fell at the same period. In fact, the same day, I think a day prior, my pastor, the head pastor of my church, had told us that whenever you want to go to a shopping mall, don't go there and begin to act or tush. Find out how much these prices are. Compare the prices you see on the rack, like on the shelf, with what they have with on their their whatever desktop where their pricing is confirmed, because most times the what you see on the rack is showing 15,000, and then the people you'll be billing it for 20,000, sorry, or even 30,000. Because what happened to Betty Rabo's case was that she bought something of that was whether 1,002 or thereabout, and they gave her the thing more expensive. So she started finding out how much this thing was, and she came back to them and she told them that this thing they have given her the price, how come is this amount of money, that this is not how much she buys it on a normal day. So it fell the same period my pastor had told us that whenever you go to a shopping mall, ensure that you go with a list, find out what you bought, how much you bought it, and compare the prices. She said if possible, go into the open market. And then when she said this thing, it looked as though our pastor was just ranting, or maybe she didn't make a point until Betty Rabo posted this thing. And she said, I went grocery shopping the other day, and this happened. I was billed the sum of 65,455 naira 90 kobo, which I thought was rather high, considering I only picked few items, which when mentally calculated shouldn't have exceeded 40,000. I was a bit mad at myself because the shopping was not exactly one on a need basis, meaning that she didn't really need it. But instead, I couldn't justify the kind of expense, especially after the bulk shopping just before the new year. Why am I reading this? I'm reading this to say that today or yesterday, being, when was that date? Sahad stores was sealed, because what they do in Sahad is that they'll say kuli is maybe a kuli of 700 naira. They'll now go to another kuli of a different brand and write 1,002 or maybe 1,000. Now if they are billing you, even if you pick the one of 700, it is a 1,000 that the machine will pick. So people have been seeing this thing and keeping quiet. So this particular people, I'm sure the people that saw this thing are one of those Sahad workers who decided that, or rather the people working in this establishment who decided that they are going to expose Sahad. At the point of even this video, when the people came there to check this thing, even to lingerie, the underwear, they were putting the same product, the same underwear, different prices. So please, as much as you are in a hurry, always try to find out how much you are buying, because this supermarket, like for example, now let me use should I even mention them? There's no point. There's this supermarket that is at Jabi Lake. For those of you who know Abuja very well, I feel that because the owners of that place have gone, so somebody bought the franchise from them and is still running the place. You find out that there are times you go into that place, there are things you'll be looking for, you'll not find. I'm sure now they are beginning to sit up, because the last time I visited them. But why do all these people do this? Because if this thing is being checked on the system and the prices are not correct, it means that they are working at par, like they are working in pari passu with the owners of these companies. Because if the thing goes to the company account, it means that they still give them their own excess. Normally in the bank, if you have an excess, it shows that you are either you underpaid a customer, or somebody gave you extra money. I don't know how to explain it. So you cannot have excess and then the company will not frown at it or find out to trace. But if they were the one that lost, they will find to trace who is handling this whole thing. So I'm going to play a clip for you guys to watch and see what these people did to these Sahad people.
This granola snack, Kwili Kwili, one of the fast-moving consumer goods, tagged with discriminatory pricing, is found in one of the shops in the Sahad Stores in Abuja.
What we have found out that these people are doing is misleading pricing and lack of transparency in their pricing, which is against Section 1153 of the law that says an undertaking shall not require a consumer to pay a price for any good or service higher than the one that is on display. So that's exactly what is happening here, and that's what we have proved to you. You have also seen it from your own perspectives. This is an obnoxious practice and amounts to a violation of the rights under the FCCPA. Section 155 states that any corporate person that contravenes this is liable to a fine of 100 million naira or even more. And the directors of the company themselves are liable, upon conviction, payment of 10 million naira each.
The store manager is jittery as he tries to explain away why the same product, which costs 700 naira, is found at the same shelf of the same product costing 1,000 naira.
This one was picked for the 700 naira price. This one is from 700 shelf.
Now, that's not the only product with misleading and conflicting price tags here, causing consumers to pay heavy. This underwear also has a conflicting price, misleading unsuspecting consumers.
The product brands are different and they come with different prices. But what the consumer sees is one price. And it's at the discretion of the tillman to identify which price of the product, because all the products in the till systems are linked kuli. So if he decides it's 700 kuli or 1,200 kuli, it's at his discretion and the display will show you kuli. So each brand item is supposed to be priced differently if it is different. And where you have a bunch, is either you price individually or you display the price on the group of identical items. You cannot mix items together and have a single price, and only when you get to the till, you get a different price. Now, the second one is that even for the same price, the same product, the same brand, the same item, there are different prices. We saw with the underwear, the same brand, one is 5,000 and the other price is 6,000. Imagine if you bought 10. That means you've been shortchanged by 10,000 naira.
And the multi-million naira store, Sahad Stores, located at Area 11, is sealed off for exploitative pricing.
So guys, you can imagine what people are up to, like a place like Sahad Stores. Sahad is one of the oldest supermarkets in Abuja. You can imagine. So this is what they do now. Even when they know that people are struggling, they are still stealing from the masses, because that's what it means. If it hasn't, hi man, guys, you need to be watchful. That's why I just said I should bring this update to you. Be watchful out there.